And within one generation, the Roman armies surround Jerusalem. And for the Jews, this is the end of the world. Because everything that they knew, everything they understood, surrounded and lived around temple worship and temple system. In fact, many of us don't know it, but heaven and earth, when we read heaven and earth, we think it's about physical earth and universal heaven and stuff like that, but that was not the Jewish mindset. Heaven and earth to the Jews was the temple. It is the place where heaven and earth met in the veil. The veil was purple. It was the red of the earth and the blue of the sky meeting, and it was a purple. Outside there was the molten sea, which represents where they do the washing and the cleansing ceremony and these things. So when Jesus said not one jot of the law will pass away till heaven and earth pass away, he's not talking about this physical earth in the universe. He's talking about the destruction of the temple. And when Rome surrounded and they basically barricaded Israel and Jerusalem, a false Messiah rose up and said that God was going to deliver them from the Romans. He's going to feed them like they did in Egypt, in the Exodus, with manna from heaven. And they went and they burnt all the food, and eventually people started to starve to death. And the writings of Josephus, the historian, speaks about mass atrocities and cannibalism that broke out in Israel. And in many ways, he's almost said that the Roman forces were irked, seeing the chaos that was going on, to put an end to it, and they came through the city and they wiped out everyone. Estimated 1 million to 2 million Jews were crucified, and many were taken into slavery. And they set fire to the temple, and the gold and the ornate elements that were there melted, and it went between the rocks and the bricks. That the Roman forces literally disassembled the temple brick by brick to get the gold that had fallen between the cracks, fulfilling the words of Jesus that not one stone of this place will remain standing. There's debate about the Wailing Wall, but that's for another time. But exactly as he said, prophesied in Matthew 24, Luke 21, and Mark 13. This was the fulfillment of the judgment of the Old Covenant. It was where Jesus fulfilled the requirements, and God and the Son are now in covenant. And all those prophecies that were spoken against Israel were now poured out and fulfilled